Spencer,
Alain,
we are back again. Consecutive. This is what, 3 weeks?
I guess it's 3 weeks in a row.
Look at that. Hey, you know what I'm excited to talk about? And I know you're gonna love this.
Now, what are you excited to talk about?
Well, we got to talk about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, man.
Of course we do.
What? You don't like it?
I don't like power couples. If you couldn't already tell.
Okay, but are you a Swiftie though?
Of course not.
Yeah, it's okay. Me neither.
And welcome everyone to episode number 21 of The Outrage. Alain Kevion, Spencer Byers.
What's going
on? This week we're gonna talk about the Toronto Blue Jays. Because guess what? They made it in. They punched their ticket to the wild card game. They take on the Minnesota Twins in a 3-game set. Well, a best of 3 set, I should say. So the first of 2 wins will be going through to the ALDS. And obviously the Leafs NHL season almost here. And we'll probably go through our NHL predictions of where we think teams are going to land in the playoff
That's
race.
Right. We had to do that too. Yeah,
and then we'll probably go around again. Alain is a part of the Ice Crew, so I know he's going to talk about the Leafs' last preseason game. So we'll get to that as well. But first, Alain is going to torture me, as you heard in the intro.
No.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, Al. I don't even know if they're a couple. It's been so many rumors of are they, aren't they? Like, it's such a whirlwind for me that I just have not really paid attention because I also just do not care. I
think it's a lock. Let's be real.
Atlanta's lock of the week, eh?
Back-to-back games, dude. Like, it's Taylor Swift we're talking about. Like, she's busy. Like, obviously, she's one of the biggest superstars, megastars, whatever the heck you want to call it on the planet. Like, I don't think she goes to back-to-back games unless there's something there. And I don't care what anybody says, but, like, you look at the way she is with Mama Kelce, Donna Kelce, like Travis and Jason's mom. Dude, this has been a thing for a bit. There's no way they're just clicking that well right off the hop. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Mama Kelsey's also like, she seems like she's such a, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like everybody. She makes it feel like she's everybody's mom. She's just so like great that like, I don't feel like she's my mom or anything, but like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like just really good at being being a mom. So sometimes I'm like, man, like that. Anyways, so maybe she is like, that she's just that friendly with everyone, but I doubt it. I think they're that close that it's been a thing for a bit. And again, Taylor Swift does not go to back-to-back football games in week 4 and 5. Was it 4 and 5 or 3 and 4? 3 and 4.
I believe it's 3 and 4. We're going into week 5.
No, because the Bengals are 1 and 4 now.
No, we're going into week 5. Promise.
So week 3 and 4. Like, I don't think Taylor Swift goes to a week 3 and 4 game in a regular season unless there's something there, because like other than that, I wouldn't expect her to be at a football game unless it's a Super Bowl, to be honest. So I just want
performing at that Super Bowl, probably.
True, but the only reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I also like there's a few things that are making me laugh about this. Okay, like I love the buzz it's creating, and I honestly think I like it, and I'm not annoyed with it because I love the way she bonds with Mama Kelce. To be honest, I think that's what's got me hooked to the storyline. I don't even care about Travis Kelce. I don't give a crap like about that whole relationship thing. Like, yeah, it's cute and like it's funny the way like Jason brought it up in their podcast or whatever, and like now it's a thing. And every time there's a Taylor Swift spotting like at the football game, it's like, oh, like, I just want to point out though there's a bit of a difference though between her first appearance and her second appearance. Okay, when she first appeared, the internet blew up. Jersey sales for Kelce went off, like they were off the charts.
400%.
Yeah,
like a true stat.
It is
Travis
insane.
Kelce's jersey sales went up 400%.
It's insane. And then he scored a touchdown in that first game where she was there. And then this is the interesting thing though. Views for the NFL for the Chiefs game and the Jets were actually down 4 million compared to when Taylor Swift's first game. The end also. Travis Kelce did not find the end zone in that game, in the second game against the Jets. And there was one more stat I wanted to bring up, and it just, of course, as I'm about to like finish my thought, it escapes me. But views were down 4 million. Kelce didn't find the end zone, but the Chiefs are 2-0 when Taylor Swift is in attendance. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Is just I love how some people are annoyed with it, but I think it all depends on how the story was introduced to you. Like if the story was forced onto you, yes, I could see how annoying it is and like how you can be annoyed. But like the way I found out about this was Jason Kelce, the Kelce brothers' podcast on TikTok. That's how I first heard about it.
Which is fantastic, by the way.
It's phenomenal.
Like they have probably the best podcast on the internet at this particular point in time, and I include ours. No offense to us, but I think the Kelce.
Yeah, no, for sure. They're definitely.
I think the Kelce's got his beat. Not to any other beat out, but the Kelce's got his beat.
It kind of helps that like one of them like won a few Super Bowls and
they both have. What do you mean?
Right? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Eagles. Remember they beat the Patriots.
Oh, and Jason was playing?
Yes, of course Jason was playing. My God.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Brother.
I'm not a football guy, Spencer. I'm more of a Taylor Swift guy right now than a football guy, and that's kind of embarrassing to know.
They both have Super Bowls, yes.
All right. Well, that's great. I'm happy then because I was kind of bummed out because like I saw like some footage of like post-game footage after the Eagles lost to the Chiefs, and I was like felt bad that it seemed like Jason just never won or whatever, but like now that you told me that, I'm so much happier. Like that actually just made my day, dude.
You're welcome. Yes, but they both won Super Bowls. Jason Kelce is a lifetime Eagle drafted by Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce is a lifetime Chief drafted by Andy Reid. So that's another fun story.
That is a cool story. But anyways, so I could see how people are like annoyed by it, but I would. Yeah, and I was like introduced to it in a different way where I was like, this is cool, like and then now it's legit, and I'm like, I'm hooked. I just think it's funny, like it's. But at the same time, like it works. You know what I mean? Like I just see it. Like it's crazy. Like how this, you can call them a power couple, sure, but like at the same time, like I just like the story. I like the vibes of the story, I guess, and that's why I'm hooked onto it, and I'm not annoyed by it because like I think it's just the way I was introduced to the storyline and to the headlines, I guess, compared to, you might have your casual football fan who really doesn't give a rat's ass about Taylor Swift or any pop culture kind of thing, and they're just like, I don't care, like I just want to watch the game. Yeah, I totally see it. I get both sides. I'm just really hooked onto it because I just like the vibes of the story. And yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think I'm good. Are you good?
I was just gonna quickly say why I have so much disdain for this particular topic, because as I think we've gone through toward 21 episodes and I've kind of shown through polar opposites. I hate when the sport is not the headline, but I will be completely honest, and I will make sure I say this because some football fans are delusional. Of these two, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, no one knows who Travis Kelce is compared to Taylor Swift.
And it's hilarious.
Taylor Swift is a global individual that has millions of fans all over the world. Travis Kelce has lots of fans in the United States and
Travis
Kelce and maybe Mexico.
Travis Kelce has Arrowhead Stadium.
And that is no offense to Travis Kelce, and the podcast I bet you is helping with a global brand for him. And he does have brand deals with some companies because he is a good looking guy. I just honest, and that's why he has the brand deals with the clothing companies and stuff like that, which he's earned. In fairness to him, because he's a great player as well, one of the best tight ends,
probably maybe ever, one of the best of all time.
Because he is one of the best tight ends right now in the NFL, and probably the best, definitely receiving tight end that we've got in the NFL right now. But I hate when the attention is detracted, and I hate it because I don't know why people care. And I know how the story is interesting, but I hate how people actually care about the story. When in my mind, it's okay, I'll watch the game. Because if you're a Swiftie and you are a Taylor Swift fan, watching the football game doesn't matter to you.
See, that's the thing.
That's fine with me.
I'm not a Swiftie. Like that's the thing. I have no.
I'm also not a Swiftie.
I'm not. I think again, like I understand where you're going with this, and I think I think now I'm more hooked onto it, not because. Now, at first, it was like, okay, this is a cool story. Like, oh my God, she's bonding with his mom. Like, this is great. Like, cool, good for Travis. Now it's like, for me, I was like, holy shit, she's at another game. Like, this is back-to-back meaningless, well, not meaningless games, but like, you could lose both of them and it doesn't matter. You could still make the playoffs and whatnot. But like that's what really had me going. I was like, holy shit, she's there again. again, we're talking week 3, week 4 of NFL football. No one gives a shit. Unless you're one of those fan bases that like your team your team might have a shot at making the playoffs, so like every week kind of matters. But like for the Chiefs, that those week 3 and 4 games wouldn't matter. Look what happened last year. They had an awful first half of the season, and then the next thing you know, they win the Super Bowl. So, but I think that's why like I'm still hooked onto it, is because it's like, oh my God, she's there again. That's it.
And I'll be honest, I didn't even know she was there. I did not see any like fanfare on Score or I'll say TSN or whatever sports that. I haven't seen any articles about it. When she first went to that first game, as you mentioned, you couldn't go through a sports app without seeing Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. Taylor Swift leaving with Travis Kelce after the game. Taylor Swift celebrating with Mama Kelce. Taylor Swift, going through just the litany of things, right? And I guess that also really does annoy me, not because I know that Taylor Swift is obviously a more well-known individual and in all honesty, I think Travis Kelce would know this, if they are in an actual relationship, Taylor Swift's the A side. Like, there is no other way of cutting that
for
cake.
sure.
Like, Taylor Swift's got more money, Taylor Swift's got more fans.
Like, no one's arguing that.
More weight. But I think they are, Al. That's the problem, is football fans really do not understand that they are too far in the forest to see the trees. They don't get that, because I know football fans I've seen complaining about it and complaining about her, and it's like, but because I'm okay with the publicity. I love American football. We all know I love American football. I love talking about American football. So if this gives me more reason to have more people talking about American football, I am all for it. 1,000% into it. That's why I love the Nickelodeon stuff. I've never watched a game with the Nickelodeon stuff all over it, but if that's going to get kids into football, yes, please.
Yeah,
yes,
grow the
please.
game.
Do whatever you got to do to get the kids interested, get the people that aren't interested, bringing a new audience to the game. Because I love the game. But
it makes me laugh too. Like, I also want to just point out like how we thought this was gonna be quick, but we've already spent like almost like 10 to 15 minutes on Taylor Swift. So this is hilarious for me.
Well, because you love Taylor Swift, we've gathered that.
I don't love Taylor Swift. No, not even close, dude. I don't even have. I don't even have a single Taylor Swift song on my phone.
Oh, because you're not. I'm not gonna say that. It was not gonna be. It was not gonna be.
Shut your mouth.
It was not gonna be a joke, an actual vulgar joke, but it was gonna be a joke that I don't want to say on air.
Yeah, I know where you were going with it. It's fine.
My brain thought of a thing I thought was funny, and then I thought, probably not the place now. Not the place, not the time. So I'll wait for that one for off air maybe. But anyway, my butt was gonna be. I personally dislike it because again, dislike when it takes away from the sport for me, and I don't know if people care. Like, I'll continue to say, I don't know why people care. Date, don't date, I don't care. Just don't.
I don't care. Yeah, me neither. I don't care about that either. Again, for me, the last thing that's keeping me hooked onto this story, and I'm actually interested to see what happens next week, but it's the fact that she was there back-to-back games.
So you're really liking the consistency, Al. Unlike us, you really like the consistency.
Yeah. Exactly. What do you mean? We're on 3 weeks now. This is working out.
The Chiefs play the afternoon game at 4:25 this week against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if she'll be there because Minnesota's a little.
Yeah, but they got a nice building.
Like New York's New York, Yeah, that's a Swift location, but like Minnesota, nah.
Well, there you go, Al. Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
If she's there, I will be like, okay.
Well, I would probably getting texted while I'm half asleep about her being at the game and me being like, oh, okay.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not, like I said, I'm hooked to the story, but I'm not that hooked in terms of like, hey, Spencer, like she's there. Like, hey. No.
She's there, Spencer.
She's there. Oh my God, she's there.
Yeah, no.
Well.
But anyways, speaking of Minnesota.
Yeah, well, no, and another ironic thing about that is talking about records, and you saying the Bengals are 1-4 when they're only 1-3. Al, don't give them extra losses they don't need because they've really struggled this year. Have the Cincinnati Bengals, but again, I will leave football for another day. The Toronto Blue Jays are in the playoffs. They did clinch their spot in the wild card game. They're playing against, as you mentioned, the Minnesota Twins, and I believe it'd be the 3 versus 6 game because obviously the last division winner, which was Minnesota by a landslide, plays the worst wild card team, which is the Toronto Blue Jays.
Which is funny
because they beat out Texas and Tampa Bay. the race.
It's just kind of funny because like, the worst team out of the American League East is the Toronto Blue Jays
with 89 wins.
Yeah,
and to mention it, Al, we had to mention it at the top. When I asked you, I'm gonna say 3 episodes ago, may have been 4 episodes ago by now. It was the halfway through the Texas series with 4.5 series left. 2 last games with Texas, 2 series against the Yankees, 2 series against Tampa Bay Rays, 1 at home, 1 away for both.
A total of 17 games.
You told me that they were going to go 9-8 and miss the playoffs.
Yep.
Well, they did go 9-8, but they made the playoffs. And now they're stuck in a series going to Minnesota to see if they can win 2 of 3 and go on to the ALDS.
I'm just glad I called it. I'm glad I got the record. I don't care, in or not. I don't care. Like, this is still for them to screw up. The pressure's on to them even more now because it's the AL Central. So I'm just glad I got the record. Like, that was cool. Like, for me, that's cool. That's the first time I get like a prediction that bang on and that far out.
Well, another thing to mention is they do play tonight. So basically, as this episode comes up, the Jays will be playing against Minnesota in Minnesota.
Yep.
But Al, you kind of talked about how pessimistic you were and how much you didn't want them to be even in, and now they're in. What's your feeling?
I mean, now it's one of those where it's like, hey, anything can happen, right? Like, it's one of those where, all right, they got in. It's up to them now to prove everybody wrong. Because for me, like, I didn't care if it was Minnesota. I didn't care if it was Tampa. I didn't like their chances. Don't get me wrong. Kevin Gausman's on the mound for game 1, which I'm ecstatic because he is the best. He has been the ace this season. And the only issue I have with it is all season long, you look at Kevin Gausman starts. How often has he gotten run support? Not often. There's a lot of his starts where the Jays don't put up runs. They don't help him out. And he pitches absolute gems, like, 8+ Ks every start almost. I still can't believe this guy's not in the Cy Young conversation. Blows my mind. First one to 200 Ks. And
because Garrett Cole is absolutely gross, Al, but continue.
But they didn't make the playoffs.
That's because they couldn't score either.
I know. But anyways, I'm just saying, it still blows my mind that Gausman wasn't talked about that much, like, all throughout the season. He just flew under everybody's radar, but, like, had one of his best seasons of his career so far. And anyways, so so for me, I'm at the point where it's like, okay, well, prove everybody wrong because I don't believe it. I'm not a believer. I think they're shit. I think Minnesota is going to have a really good chance to beat them. And
their first playoff series in basically a decade, 2 decades.
Yeah. And the Jays haven't gotten a playoff win in a decent amount of time, but not as long as Minnesota. I believe I read this morning it was 2017.
For Toronto?
The last playoff win, yeah.
Yep. Maybe just about then.
2017.
Batista, and Encarnacion.
And then for Minnesota, 2002 was the last time they won a playoff. Sorry, not a series, a game. Sorry, I want to make that clear. The Jays haven't won a playoff game since 2017, apparently.
Well, and Minnesota hasn't won a game since, I think, 2002. I think it's before then they even won a series in the playoffs, which is ridiculous.
But regardless, so like both of these teams have a chance to make, to rewrite their story a little bit. I don't like using that cliche. I think the Jays story is already done. Like, this is not, if the Jays win this series, great, but like, I think this is as far as they go. Like,
because you're going to get chances.
Well, you're getting Tampa or Texas next. I would much rather get.
Oh, actually,
no, you get Houston. Sorry, Houston.
No, you don't. That's
they get
the
Houston.
Thing, Al. No, Al, that's the thing.
You want to check again, Spencer? I'm pretty sure they get Houston.
No, Al, I promise you. Okay, I'm going to explain.
Okay, I'm going to check right now. I'm telling you, it's Houston. I wouldn't fight you on it if I wasn't sure.
If Minnesota wins, it'll be Houston. But if Toronto wins, I think they're going to get the Orioles because the Baltimore Orioles. So if the Jays win as the lowest ranked wildcard team, they should play the Baltimore Orioles. Regardless of who wins the Texas Rangers The Texas Rangers Tampa Bay Rays series.
I'm still looking. I'm still checking.
The last time they won a game in the playoffs, that was 2004 when they lost 3-1 in the ALDS. Last time they won a series
was 2002.
1991.
Oh, no. Okay.
When they won the World Series. So last time Minnesota won a series, they won the World Series. So
well, that's not happening.
I guess we're gonna have to see if they can do it again. But
I hate Twitter for this. Like every time you look for a bracket or like something there it is.
Have you been satisfied yet? Well, as you
no, see, wouldn't it be 1 against 4?
No, because there's 6. How?
Okay, so right now Texas has got Tampa, but if you look at the way the brackets lined up, no, it would be Houston.
I don't think the brackets matter, to be completely honest with you. I think it just matters on seed.
Well, yeah, because it leads, because the next game leads to whoever's there. So, like, they're lined up on that side is what I'm trying to tell you. So the Jays would get Houston next.
But I don't feel like that would end up being true, though. I feel like they're going to change if the Jays end up winning this series. We're going to have to find out, Al. Like, we're going to have to wait and see if they can do.
Regardless, I still don't like their chances.
Yeah, if they either get the Orioles or Houston.
I think they're
either get a 100-win team or a consistent title contender the last 5 years.
Yeah, like ALDS is as far as they go. Oh, by the way, breaking news: Derek Stepan has announced his retirement from hockey.
We'll get to hockey in a minute.
This was 13 minutes ago, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, anyways, I don't like the Jays' chances after this wildcard series, and I barely like their chances right now because it is Minnesota, and their pitching staff has been just as good as the Jays has been this year, and the Jays can't hit for shit when they play good pitchers. So
well, I guess we'll have to see what they do here against Minnesota.
I wanted to talk about their lineup too real quick before we go.
Of course.
To the next thing. I really don't hate the Jays lineup in terms of bats. It's just, again, like we don't know if the bats will show up or not because it's the Blue Jays. So they got George Springer leading off in right, Brandon Belt at DH, Vladdy's batting third at first, Bichette's batting cleanup at playing short, Kevin Biggio's fifth, Kirk is catching, Kiermaier is in center, Chapman's at third, Varsho's in left, batting ninth. I don't hate this. What I'm hoping to see throughout the game, if the offense does go dry or disappears, I would really like to see Belt take the bench and Davis Schneider slide in his spot. I think you have to use his bat. I think the rookies that they've called up so far this season have all been pretty good, Davis Schneider being the better one. And I would really like to see him go. Other than that, I like this batting order. I think Bichette batting cleanup is probably your best call. I would probably have Schneider playing second, but the only reason why I like Biggio there is because Biggio has been playing some of his best baseball in the last month and a half. So I don't disagree with that move at all. But like, I think Belt and Biggio are the two guys that you maybe like bring in and out of the game depending on how things go, and you bring in Davis Schneider if you need some runs. But other than that, I like the lineup, and I just hope that, again, I don't like being right when I make negative predictions, but so I'm hoping the Jays prove me wrong, prove a lot of people wrong, because as far as I know, there's a lot more people that are like, well, it doesn't matter whether it was Tampa or Minnesota. Either way, it's the Jays. So.
Well, and I will admit it. I will admit out. It actually is a I'll say standard format, meaning you're right. It's a strict format where no matter what the Jays do, they're playing against the Astros. I'm implying they be able to beat the Twins, so it will not get reseeded, which is what the NHL used to do.
So it is the Astros.
It will be the Astros.
There you go.
Regardless if they beat the Twins or they don't, I guess I should say, because if the Twins win, they will also play the Houston Astros. Yep. So no matter what, you're playing against Houston, which is going to be
even tougher.
Yeah, which is going to be a very interesting series, no matter who wins.
Because the pitching is pretty good there too.
What would your prediction be for the series? Since you nailed the end of the year for the Jays, do you know how the season's going to end?
I think the Jays Jays beat the Twins in 3.
You think they do it?
Uh-huh.
Well,
They
I
win
guess.
today. They win today. They lose tomorrow, and they win the third one. I don't think Barrios gets the job done. I haven't liked his last 2 starts. I think his command was off a little bit, and he's been finding the middle of the plate a little too much compared to being able to do his job and paint the corners like he's known to be able to do. And I honestly think, Chris Bassett, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but his last 2 starts, he's thrown 8 innings. So I don't know why you wouldn't go with him in the second game. Maybe Schneider likes a different pitching matchup. But here's my thing with playoff baseball too. In the regular season, I'm all about matchups, but in the playoffs, that goes out the window. That should go out the window. I don't care what your deal is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Bassett gets an extra day of rest because they start Barrios. I'm not sure how that works. I haven't really been paying attention to the rotation much because I know their pitching staff has been the least of the Jays' concern so far this season. Since they got Alek Manoah out of the picture. So for me, it's one of those where I think Bassett has had better starts than Barrios in the last few games. And I would have gone Gausman, Bassett, then Barrios. But yeah, I think the Jays win in 3. They'll win today. They'll lose Wednesday, and they'll win on Thursday. And then they will go on to get swept by Houston.
Well, then now before we switch topics, then do you think the Jays can come back if they lose game 1 tonight?
No. They got to win this one. They have to. Because you look at what happened with Seattle last year. They lost game 1. Game 2 is in the bag, and nope. This team is not clutch baseball material. They're not. They had a chance to clinch themselves. They didn't. They needed 2 teams they had other teams lose for them to get in. That's the thing, Spencer. They didn't win to get in. They didn't. They won enough to get in, but they didn't win to get in. That's my other. And I saw people, look, they're celebrating and they didn't it's just a wild card. Like, why are they celebrating? Like, I will give them this. It's a 162 game season. It's long as hell. It takes a toll on your body. You got to work hard to stay healthy all year. It's a grind. That's one thing I will say. It is different than other sports in terms of the longevity of the game and how, you should have the right to celebrate a little bit. But at the same time, though, I also see the other people's perspectives. Like, imagine if NHL players celebrated for getting into the playoffs. You know how weird that would feel? You know how stupid that would look? Same thing with the Minnesota Timberwolves that one year when they made the play-ins or whatever.
When they won the first play-in game.
Yeah, they won the first play-in game. They partied like they won the damn freaking championship, and it was like, yo, you just got in. Like, relax. That's always a debate that comes up every year too, which is annoying because it's like,
yeah, and I get it, but for me, I don't like it.
And I don't like it either. I don't think you should celebrate until you get the job done.
I agree with you, Alan. That's what you and I's mindset. So you and I are going to see this particular topic very like that. I personally, you wouldn't catch me picking up no champagne bottle. You wouldn't catch me jumping up and down. I'd be looking at my teammates like, what the hell are you guys celebrating for? We still got how many games we got to win?
Kobe Bryant was up 2-0 in a championship series, and he was like, I don't care. Job's not finished.
Because it's not, is it? I think you and I see it the same way.
Yeah, job's not finished. What's there to be happy about? And that's literally Kobe word for word. If you watch the tape, that's, job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so. What's there to be happy about? And I understand the celebration in terms of, yes, it's a long ass season for sure. But you ain't done nothing. You've done nothing. All you've done is given yourself a chance to win the World Series. And to do something. But this team's not no. So yeah, I think the Jays need this one. They lose tonight, I don't like their chances. They win tonight, I like it. got to get ahead here. You got to be ahead. You cannot fall behind and play comeback, because there's one thing this season has taught us. This team does not know what clutch baseball is. Not even close. This team is far from clutch, and they'll have, heck, they might. The reason why I say they'll lose tomorrow if they win tonight is also because there's the pressure of, okay, well, can you finish a series? Can you get the sweep? Whereas the third game, you'll have a bit more of a veteran approach where it's like, okay, they got to win and so do we. The pressure's on both sides, so it's not all on them. Whereas if they lose tonight, it's all on them tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if there's a balance of pressure, it's not that bad. Hey, they're in the same boat as we are. It's just a matter of let's play our game better than they play theirs. So I think the Jays need this one. If they lose tonight, I don't like it. And I think a lot of fans are going to be pissed off if the Jays get swept to the Minnesota Twins, because we all know what's going to happen to the Twins. We all know what's going to happen as soon as whoever gets Houston, they're gone. That's the one thing about baseball. It's so predictable. If Houston finds a way to lose to either the Twins or the Jays, I'll be mind blown. And if that's the case, I will say, should we do playoff predictions?
Do you want to do playoff predictions?
I want to, now that I'm halfway there.
Okay, well, I'll finish off the wild card games. I will start there. So looking at the NL wild card, so you got the first game today in basically 20 minutes or so. The Texas Rangers against the Tampa Bay Rays. Who do you got? How many games?
Ooh.
I'll actually start writing this down.
I'm actually stumped with this one, because I think this is going to be the one where it's like, oh shit, like we did not see this coming. I'm going to go Yeah. It's weird. My brain says Texas because they have higher offensive power, but my gut still says Tampa. So I'm gonna go with Tampa, and I'm gonna say Tampa. Both AL wildcard series are gonna go to the distance. I'm gonna say Tampa in 3.
So you say Tampa in 3. You say Toronto
in 3.
In 3. I will say Minnesota in 2. I will say, you're right, that Texas-Tampa series is going to be interesting. The Texas had a horrible end of the year. So I'm going to go with Tampa, and I want to say 2. I really want to say 2 because it's at the Trop.
Yeah.
But I feel like Texas got to get a game. So I will also say Tampa in 3.
That one's going to be a good one.
In 3, and I've got Minnesota in 2. Not only for the memes, but because I just don't think the Jays are going to be able to keep up with them, just like they did Seattle last year.
Fair. Yeah, that's
fair. Their implosion last year really worries me. Now the NL series, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Miami Marlins against the Philadelphia Phillies. So Al, who do you got in the NL wildcard series?
I'm going to say Milwaukee. I'm going to go Milwaukee in 3. Because the Diamondbacks have a good pitching staff. But at the end of the day, like, I think Milwaukee's just a better all-around team. But I think the Diamondbacks have enough to get at least 1. I'm going to say 3, and I'm going to say the Phillies are going to sweep the Marlins.
So Phillies sweep the Marlins.
Yep.
In 2, and then you said Milwaukee in 3?
Brewers in 3.
In 3.
So we should stop our predictions after this, and then like just keep going. We'll do series by series since we're consistent now in our podcast recordings.
Yeah, but Al, the other series will be started by then because they start on Saturday.
Oh, do they?
Yes. So we should probably do their predictions because we can just say, who we think is going to win versus the winner. And then if we're wrong, we can just re-predict next week once the series is started. We can make big early predictions now about who we think will win with the series we've selected. Quickly for my AL, I'm
Yep.
just quickly looking at the standings because I don't really like the D-backs as much as I know they're a young team and I like a couple of their players, but I'm a little worried. And then obviously, I will be completely honest, I love the Milwaukee Brewers, and they did win their NL Central.
Yep.
So with
Going with the Brew Crew.
Yelich's, I gotta go with Milwaukee, and it kind of sucks because I really like Zach Allen and Kelly, their second pitcher, but I think Milwaukee's gonna do it in two. I think experience is gonna ring true in that series.
Okay.
And then
That's
I
fair.
think I also have the Phillies in two because no offense to Miami, but they're gonna get
they're gonna get shelled. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper are gonna tear them.
I'll be honest, that's the one series I hope I'm wrong about. I hope that the Phillies, after going to the World Series last year.
Yep.
I would really hope they do blow it against Miami because I do like Miami's team. They obviously have Mr. Almost 400 in Luis Ariz, and just I really like that team. It's just I just don't really trust them, especially with their best pitcher Sandy Alcantara having an absolute garbage season this year, comparatively speaking to his Cy Young campaign last year. But anyway, so quickly, Al, to the AL and NL DSs. Tampa Bay versus Baltimore. You and I both have Tampa Bay beating Texas, so Tampa versus Baltimore. Who do you have in that one? And it's a
Baltimore in 4.
Baltimore in 4. And then what about you said Toronto beats Minnesota, so Toronto versus Houston now.
Houston in 3.
Houston with a sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays. I have Minnesota against Houston. I say Houston's had a shaky run too. They were also in that absolute mishmash of AL West teams trying to make it in of the arms race.
I only said Houston would sweep the Jays because I think this is where the bats will go quiet.
I'll be honest, Al. After waiting for Minnesota or Toronto, I really want to pick against them, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say Houston in 5.
Okay.
And then I will also say Baltimore over Tampa, but I will also say 5 because I think both those teams are just fantastic, and I'm not sure I want to pick either one. And then going to the other side, we both have Milwaukee going up against. As I quickly check, so because they're playing Arizona, so that would mean Milwaukee won the highest wild card, which means they will play the lower seed, or I guess technically the higher seed. So it means that they will be playing the LA Dodgers.
Yeah,
I believe I'm right with that. Yes, I would be right with that because the Atlanta's the top seed, so they'll be playing the 4 or 5. So. Who do you have between the LA Dodgers and the Brewers?
Dodgers.
In?
4.
Dodgers in 4. Yeah. I got to pick an upset because I don't think all the top seeds are going to win. And
you said Dodgers and Brewers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Dodgers in 4.
I'll be honest. Going back to that Baltimore series, I think that one honestly could go to Tampa, and then I'll be honest. I'm gonna pick Milwaukee to upset LA, but I think it will be in 5. So that's 3 straight series I think are going to 5, which I'm probably wrong about. Probably Houston will be able to jump on Toronto or Minnesota, but I'll still say 5 because I really have not liked their season, and as a whole, they have not really had a great dominant season like we've been used to. And obviously, all their playoff baseball's got to catch up to them sometime. But I'm going to go with Milwaukee in 5. And then last, but certainly not least, it is the best team in baseball with 104 wins, the Atlanta Braves, taking on the Philadelphia Phillies.
This is where your upset would happen. I think the Phillies would take them.
You think the Phillies would upset Atlanta?
Yep.
You think
and this one would go the distance, though. This one would go 5.
You see ATL sits down and aren't able to get their fingers on another championship. See, I would agree with you. But they're so young, so good, and not only that, they have the experience
No, I know, but like, look,
some other teams don't have.
The Boston Bruins were so good too, and look what happened to them, right? So, like, for me, this is the perfect storm. I don't think the Atlanta Braves have gone through enough adversity to be able to like have the game of baseball reward them with a title again. That's my thing. I think Atlanta has had too much of a cruise kind of season where they haven't really faced challenges, and I think this is where the Phillies the Phillies are very good at playing clutch baseball. Very good. And I think they know the Braves are good, and I think they know the Braves are better, but I don't think that scares them. I think the Phillies are going to walk in there and just be like, we're just as good as you guys are. I don't care what the hype is. I don't care how many wins you got. I don't care how many bases Acuna stole this year. We're taking this. I think it's going to go to 5, and I think the Phillies do it.
I would also agree with you that 5 is a very good possibility, but because I picked already 3 series going to 5, I'm not going to say all 4 series are going to 5. So I'm going to say the Atlanta Braves in 4.
Okay.
So I will say you and I both have Tampa Bay beating the Texas Rangers. I have Minnesota beating the Jays. You have the Jays beating Minnesota. We agreed on Milwaukee. We agreed on Philadelphia winning their wild card series. Tampa versus Baltimore. You said Baltimore in 4. I said Baltimore in 5. You said Houston over Toronto in 3. I said Houston over Minnesota in 5. You said the Dodgers over Milwaukee in 4. I said Milwaukee over the Dodgers in 5. And lastly, the Philadelphia Phillies beat the Atlanta Braves, you think, in 5 games. I think Atlanta beats Philly in 4 games. We'll reassess in a week's time when the playoff series are in full effect.
Yeah, I like it.
Now, after playoff predictions, let's get ready for our NHL predictions. The regular season is almost here.
This is a tough one.
The NHL wildcard games coming thick and fast. And Al, I think we have to start with, again, the Ice Crew Maestro, Alain Spencer, at the Scotiabank Arena. What was the last preseason game like for you?
It was good in terms of like work wise, but I mean, in terms of the finish, it felt like I just watched the Ottawa Senators play the Leafs again, except this time the Leafs were leading and then they blew it. It was frustrating. I thought the Leafs were soft. As much as it's preseason and you might not want to go full out, both teams had pretty much NHL squads dressed last night. And I didn't think Montreal was that good. I just think Toronto played down to their level, and once it got to overtime, Montreal was like, screw this, we want the win, and Toronto just kind of went, okay. So it was frustrating because now, like, you know, even then last night, the Leafs got scored on a shorthanded goal. Like, there wasn't much time left in the period, and Matthews was up along the boards against Kirby Dach, and he had a good stick on him and everything, and then it was like, okay, cool, now just pin him to the boards, leave him there, like, the clock will run down, you're good. Nope. Instead, Matthews was soft on the body. Dach got free, made a pass, got the pass right back, and buried one and scored a shorthanded goal. And it was just like, what is going on? Like, it blew my mind how it was just all because of that one soft play. Like, they're still soft. They're still soft. And I think it'll change maybe once the regular season starts. But right now, like, this is just unreal because, like, even people I work with, they're like, oh, it's just preseason. I'm like, yeah, but it's still the same goddamn story. You either go to overtime, you know, you tie it late, give everybody false hope and lose, or, you know, you have a lead and you blow it, and then, you know, you still think you're good enough in overtime, and then nope, you blow that one too, and then done. It's just annoying because, like, I know it's just the preseason. I know it doesn't matter. Yes, it doesn't matter. You're absolutely right. But the fact that it's still the same freaking storylines showing up in preseason, your preseason shouldn't resemble what your regular seasons looked like, and your playoffs should not resemble what your regular season was like. It should a little bit, but not as much. So it was frustrating for me to watch that last night. But I mean, honestly, like, it's such a blast just to be out there and, like, seeing all the players and, like, you know, being on the ice with, like, guys like Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Uriah Slavkovsky, even Arbor Jacki. Like, that guy's a monster. Like, I wouldn't mess with that guy, but, like, it's cool too. Like, the core four were there. Like, you know, it's still a great experience, and it's just unfortunate that it's still you know, it's just preseason, but it's still the same storylines as usual. Like, it still seems like it's, there's the Leafs doing the Leafs thing. Like, it sucks to say that. You kind of wish, like, kind of like when the Leafs made it out of the first round, you're like, oh, finally, no one could finally use why don't you win a round for once? Well, now it's like, okay, well, how about you, like, stop blowing leads, or like, how about you, like, actually, like, there's other storylines around the game where it's like, man, I wish they would just disappear. But that wasn't the case. It was still a good game, a great atmosphere, pretty much a sold out building. There was just as many Habs fans as there were Leafs fans. That was actually pretty surprising. It was pretty loud when the Habs would score. But yeah, overall a good experience. And I mean, I'm excited for the regular season to get going, because maybe the Leafs will try a bit harder, and maybe they will have different narratives throughout the season. But right now it's just the vibes are different. There might be some new faces, but still the same freaking outcome every time. So what does it really matter?
Well, it doesn't really matter, but we're going to see if it does matter as the NHL again season starts in exactly a week's time. So we're going to do our predictions this week, just in case next week we don't record it a Tuesday, because you and I have been kind of flip-flopping between Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Well, Tuesday is also our grad.
That's also true. So that definitely will not be our day, because we'll be at our grad from 3 to 6.
We'll probably do it like on a Wednesday.
Probably Wednesday, because I believe that'll also be the week Cajun and I go to 2 times a week on Mondays and Thursdays. So probably Wednesday will be a good bet.
Actually, but now we're going to do... Actually, could be on, might be Thursday, because I think Wednesday, I'm on the bubble now, but at first it was confirmed that I was working like a morning shift, like 8 to 3 or whatever for sports or whatever. But now that might change. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll record next week for sure.
We always negotiate off the air. But now we'll get ready for our playoff predictions, where we think teams are going to finish. Al, you just went playoff teams last year. I went the whole route. I don't have my laptop on me, so I can't exactly go through my predictions last year. I'll do that next week and go through my exact predictions last year compared to this year. But I'm just going to predict playoff teams this year as well.
Okay.
So in the Atlantic, 4 teams or 5 teams make the playoffs. And which 4 or 5 teams do you think make it out of the Atlantic?
Okay, in no specific order. I'm not going to seed them.
Oh, of course not.
It's just good luck seeding them, like, to be honest. I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to say... This is tough. I want to pick them to win the division, but at the same time, my gut's going, nah, you're crazy. Someone else. Okay, fine, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to say Toronto, Tampa Bay.
Okay. That's Lightning, obviously.
Oh no, I got to sneeze.
You hurry up and sneeze.
Got her done. We're good. Wow. So I'm going to say Toronto, Tampa, Ottawa, Buffalo, and Boston.
So you think 5 teams make it out of the Atlantic, just like I did last year?
Yeah.
You think that 3 of the 4 teams that made it last year make it in, but the Stanley Cup finalists, the Florida Panthers, don't make it in this year?
Yeah.
There any thoughts on that?
Which honestly feels wrong. Like, now that the more I think about it, the more I'm like, maybe they do, but like, someone's gonna have a hangover, and I don't see it being Vegas. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
That's my take. I think Florida's gonna be the team. Kind of like the Senators after they made it to that conference final against Pittsburgh. They just went downhill afterwards. I don't think this is Florida going all the way down the hill. Like, they won't be bad, but I don't think they barely got in last year. So what makes you think they're going to get in this year?
Fair point. They were the last. They were the lowest seeded team. They were the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. That made no difference, of course, in the playoffs, but still, that is a good point.
So I'm gonna go with that. I think Toronto should win the Atlantic, but I don't think they will. I think Tampa, even though Andrei Vasilevsky's out for 2 months, I still think Tampa's going to figure their shit out, and they're going to find a way to claw it in there because I think Tampa still has a better rounded team anyways.
I think the Leafs win the President's Trophy.
Don't say that.
I think the Leafs win the President's Trophy and win the
Well,
Atlantic.
if they win the President's Trophy, they're winning the fucking cup.
No, they're not. No, they're not using that. And you, God, insert swear word here. Now I got to write that down. Okay. Anyway. Thanks, Al.
No, they will, because you know what? Out of every curse, that would be the only one that wouldn't follow the Leafs because it's never happened. I'm not saying like it's never happened. It's never, like I mean,
whatever
like,
makes you sleep at night.
I think if they're gonna win the President's Trophy, they're gonna freaking make everybody laugh because everyone's gonna count them out and they're gonna go, ha, nope, we're actually gonna get it done.
Or they're gonna lose to the absolute worst team in the playoffs, just like the Boston Bruins did.
It could be. They could be that too, and then they'd be an even bigger laughing stock. So regardless, like I think someone's gonna be laughing. It's depending on what end you're laughing at. But I mean, yeah, if they win I don't think they win the President's Trophy. I don't even think they come close. No freaking way.
Well, if the Boston Bruins didn't play hockey last year, they would have been tied for third with the Vegas Golden Knights. For the
I think a Western.
I think a Western points up, and the Devils being 1 point up. Well, and I disagree with you completely. I think the winner of the President's Trophy will be the Eastern Conference. I just don't know if it'll be the winner of the Metro or the winner of the Atlantic.
I think it'll be
one of those two winners.
It'll be a Metro.
Personally.
I think it'll be Metro.
But
if it's gonna be the East,
I think the Leafs win the President's Trophy and take the summer spot in the Atlantic because we know how much they care about the regular season.
Yep.
Second place in the Atlantic. Honestly, second down, all these teams feel really close.
Right?
Really close.
Right? The only one is like Montreal because they don't have goaltending.
And that's no offense to Montreal, who are a young team and will make strides this year.
Yeah, and I don't care if they beat Toronto last night. Like it's still.
It's preseason, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
It's preseason.
Yeah, you gotta. There's 31 other teams you gotta play, and there's a lot that are out there that are better than them. So.
Well, I'm just gonna do one quick look at something before I make my decision. It looks like that will be. I can't with a good conscience say they're gonna come second in the Atlantic, but they're gonna go third. Who am I gonna put second out? Who's gonna get it? That's why I think the Leafs are gonna win the President's Trophies, because I think everyone else in the Atlantic is going to be sub 100 points. I genuinely think from 2 down is going to be basically like 105 points to like 90.
Well, then if
94.
You want a place to throw second, then I'd say I would throw Florida, to be honest. I know I don't have them in my playoff picture, but for you it makes sense because I'm looking at I don't think Ottawa is going to be it. Detroit definitely not. Buffalo, Buffalo could. The Sabres could surprise.
Buffalo's are going to do what New Jersey did last year and really make that jump up. And
if Devin Levi's good, Buffalo is going to be dangerous.
But like I'm looking at Tampa too, and I'm like, I don't know.
Tampa, if they can survive the Vasilevsky injury thing, they'll be okay.
Barring a move by Tampa, I'm going to put Tampa number 2.
Yeah.
So Leafs number 1 win the President's Trophy. Tampa goes number 2. Number 3 is going to be Buffalo. Number 4 is going to be Florida. And then the 5th spot, who I think make it in, but just barely. I have to play the Leafs. For the memes, I kind of want to say the Bruins, but I think it's them in Ottawa, and that's no offense to Detroit, who I really do like. I think will make a run. I think I really need a goalie. And I don't like Ottawa's goaltending either. I'm gonna take the Bruins, get the 5th seed. And Ottawa is just outside.
You don't like Korpisalo?
Just outside. I like Korpisalo, but I think Omar's better.
Korpisalo and Sogard?
Matt Sogard hasn't proved anything at the NHL level. They gotta prove it. So I gotta see it.
Okay.
So I think the Bruins just edge out the Senators. Like
that's valid though. That's fair though.
81 games and they don't punch a playoff spot. Like I genuinely think it'll be like the last day of the season type of thing. Okay. So that's my Leafs win the Atlantic, win the President's Trophy, then Tampa, Buffalo, Florida Panthers, and then Boston Bruins get the 5th spot and the last wild card spot.
The Metro should be easy.
Well, you'd think. So now you can order them because there's only going to be 3 playoff teams we've got.
I'm ranking them. I'm going Carolina, New Jersey, New York.
And that's the Rangers, of course, not the Islanders.
Correct.
So you have them the exact same order they were this year, or last year, I should say. And Carolina being number 1, the Devils being number 2, and the Rangers being number 3.
My sleeper pick though, Pittsburgh.
You think that? So you don't like the New York Islanders at all, who made the playoffs this year?
No. Nope. I like Pittsburgh. And I'm not just saying that because Dubas is there, but I mean, they've definitely done a lot. The tweaks they made this offseason have not been bad. I say Pittsburgh is the kind of team where they'll either get in by a smidge or they'll miss by a smidge. But I got Carolina going all like Carolina's I'm riding with them the entire way. I think I like New Jersey a lot. I think they look scary right now. And obviously New York is New York. The Rangers are pretty good. And then, like I said, Pittsburgh is going to be that one team where maybe if something goes wrong with the Rangers, then they would leapfrog them. Or actually, even New Jersey might go down at one point. I don't see it though.
Well, I'm not a big fan of either the New Jersey's or Carolina's goaltending. Obviously, we all know who the New York Rangers got in Shesterkin, probably arguably the best goalie in hockey. So it makes me want to kind of dark horse pick them to win, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go completely rogue. But do I put the Devils over Carolina?
No.
I think I'm gonna. Just because they were 1 point behind them last year. They're a very young team. You got to expect they're going to keep their ways going. If the goaltending stays consistent between Vanacek and Schmid.
Akira Schmid, yeah.
They should. I think they'll be able to just. And again, that's going to be a very close battle for the top of the Metro between the Carolina Hurricanes and the New Jersey Devils. I'm going to go Devils win the Metro. Carolina gets the 2nd seed, and they have to face the New York Rangers in the 1st round.
Nice.
And all 3 of those teams are going to have over 100 points.
I mean, I don't hate this. I don't hate this because I think the Metro is going to be just as intriguing as the Atlantic this year.
Just they're not going to be as good intriguing because the Capitals are probably going to suck.
Yep.
We know. I think Columbus is going to be better. I just don't know if they're going to be that much better.
Yeah.
They only had 59 points last year. The Capitals are old and they suck, and the Penguins are only getting older, even though they got Erik Karlsson. And I don't think that will improve them enough to be able to compete with the Atlantic teams. And I really like Ilya Sorokin, but I just don't think the Islanders have it this year. I don't think they got the juice.
I don't think so either.
So going over to the West, the Central Division. Al, who do you think wins the Central Division?
It's funny. Sportsnet app has Arizona at the top. That. Enjoy it while it lasts because it's not going to be like that much longer. I'm going to say Dallas. I'm going to go Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota, and Nashville.
So you said Dallas, Colorado,
Minnesota and Nashville.
So you think the Jets in Nashville flip, and that's it. So you say you think the Blues still miss out, the Coyotes still miss out, and obviously Chicago still misses out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to have to agree with you.
Which doesn't happen often.
I was also going to go with the Stars win the Central. But now that you've picked the Stars, I'm going to go Colorado wins it again. Colorado wins the Central because Jonathan Drouin with his former Halifax Moosehead teammate Nathan McKinnon, they work magic together with Mikko Rantanen. And they propel themselves without Gabriel Landeskog for a 2nd straight season. They go back and win the Central. Dallas Stars get 2nd. I'm honestly going to go basically the exact same as you. Minnesota gets 3rd, and then probably the Preds just sneak in. Just sneak into the playoffs. I think the top 3 teams in both conferences are going to be really good. I think the 4 teams and down in both the Central and the Pacific are going to be horrible. Or horrible. They're going to be non-playoff teams horrible, in my mind.
So we got a lot of waiver wires, by the way, right now. Couple goaltenders. Boston leading the way with putting guys on waivers. Alec Regula, Danielle Renouf, Anthony Richard, Riley Walsh, Parker Witherspoon, Seth Griffith from the Edmonton Oilers, Eric Shalgren from the New Jersey Devils. You might remember him. He played for the Leafs, so I can maybe Tampa shops him. Bernard Docker from the Senators, Matthew Highmore, which are two of their top prospects, Jacob Larson, also from Ottawa, and Igor Sokolov, also from Ottawa, and then Tanner Laczynski, I don't even know if I pronounced that right, from Philadelphia, and Cal Peterson from the Philadelphia Flyers on waivers as well.
Peterson could also be an option for Tampa if they want to claim him. But
exactly.
I don't know if his contract's still in effect from when he signed in LA, because that contract was gross when he signed it with LA. Now over to the Pacific, Al. Who wins the Pacific?
I'm gonna have to go with the Edmonton Oilers.
You think the Oilers win the Pacific?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Oilers, Golden Knights, Kings, and Flames.
You think the Kraken miss out?
Oh shit, forgot about them.
I thought so.
Never mind. Kraken over the Flames don't make it. I'm gonna go Seattle.
Well. How the turntables there, Al? You send the Kraken out, and I go, whoa. What about Seattle? And all of a sudden, wait, never mind.
Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, and Markstrom, if he has a season like he did last year, the Flames aren't gonna even they're not even gonna see the playoffs.
If the Flames play like they did last year, they're not gonna see the playoffs because the Flames were horrible last year.
And let's be real, the Flames roster has not improved that much in the offseason, so.
Well, they've only gotten basically worse. Everyone asking for a trade request.
Yeah. So no. Okay. Well, you know what?
What do I know?
Now I'm gonna change my seating now.
Ooh.
I don't know if I could do that. I'm gonna go Vegas first, Seattle second, Oilers third, and then the Kings fourth.
Whoa! You put Edmonton winning the Pacific, and then you just flip flop and said they're gonna get third.
Because Seattle's got better goaltending than Edmonton. Let's be honest.
Wow.
If you look at goaltending matchup, Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner, come on.
Well, Al, you know what's really upsetting? That's basically how I was going to order it.
Yeah.
Next to, I didn't know who I was going to put second after Vegas, because I thought Vegas is easily going to win the Central. I picked them in the Central last year. I was on that horse. Our Pacific. I meant the Pacific. You're right. Yeah. I was on that horse basically all year last year that Vegas was going to win the Central, or win the Pacific, pardon me. I keep messing that up.
Yeah, I don't know why, but anyways.
I also don't know why. But yeah, I was basically on that Vegas horse the entire time, and you know that.
Yep.
So I'm going to stay on it. I think Vegas win it for a second straight year. I think they'll probably be the best West team again.
The more I think about it now,
they'll be the best West team over Colorado, or not Colorado. They were the best West team. I think they'll be again the best Western Conference team. The
more I think about it now too, the more I'm like, you know what? Like Seattle's gonna I think Seattle could be dangerous. I don't know if they make a run at the Cup, but I definitely could see maybe a conference final.
Well,
because they were close, right? Like they were good last year, so I think they can build on what they had, right? So, so Vegas, Kraken, Oilers, Kings.
Well, see, I agree with you on the teams. I disagree a little bit on the order. I go Vegas win the Pacific. Seattle gets number 2. The Kings get the 3 seed, and Edmonton gets the wild card.
Ooh,
I don't like Edmonton. I don't like Edmonton.
No, yeah, that's fine. No, me neither.
Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, amazing world-class top 5 players in hockey, but everybody else is kind of meh. And their goaltending is worse than meh. And I just don't know how many times Connor McDavid can score 160 points to propel his team to second place in the Pacific. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally see it. But I think those are solid predictions. I think hopefully we're closer, because last year we were way off.
Well, because no one expected the Bruins to win 65 games and break the points record as well. So that 100%. Also doesn't really that also does not really help us, does it?
No, not at all.
And then I thought the Caps are gonna be a lot better than they were.
I knew the Caps weren't gonna be good last year.
And then no one knew New Jersey was gonna be good, which was nice. That's why you and I keep predicting Buffalo up, because we think they're gonna be New Jersey. Or you also said Ottawa. Ottawa could be New Jersey. I openly admit that. I don't like the Senators. I don't know if they have it yet. I don't know if they have the group. I think Buffalo does. I mean, it's a long time coming for Buffalo.
Tage Thompson is about to have a season.
So is like all of that team. That team is really good. Like that team has some really good players that no one really talks about because they're on Buffalo.
Yeah, no, Buffalo.
Like Darlene
yeah,
was in the.
I think the Buffalo's finally got it figured out. Again, I don't know how good they'll be, but I definitely think Buffalo. If you're sleeping on Buffalo still, especially this year, big mistake.
I would have to agree with you on that one.
It's like the Buffalo Sabres or the Baltimore Orioles of hockey.
Yeah,
I think that's where they're at.
That might be a little bit of a stretch.
But I mean, like, I think that's where they're at in terms of like, based off of the season they had last year, Buffalo should be good this year. If you don't think Buffalo's going to be good this year, you haven't been paying attention. I'm not saying they'll be Baltimore good in terms of like, oh, like they'll win the whole freaking division. No, like, hey, who knows? Maybe hockey's weird, but I doubt it. Like, I doubt it. I very much doubt it. But, I think if you're sleeping on Buffalo still, well, you're in for a rude awakening, man, because the Sabres are legit.
I would have to agree with basically all of what you just said. I think the Sabres are going to be a rather good team. And again, it's all about goaltending for them, too. A lot of these kind of lower teams, it's kind of if goaltending holds up, they should be, if not in the playoffs, pretty darn close.
And their tandem's pretty attractive, too. I mean, like, if Devin Levi proves that he's a number one goaltender, which I think he will, I think he's very athletic between the pipes. So, him and UPL, like Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, like, that's not a bad tandem. Both goalies were very good prior to the National Hockey League, and it's just a matter of getting that NHL experience under your belt, and I think you got a really solid tandem. So I think Buffalo's really attractive. Really attractive. I've been to the city. City sucks, but the team is pretty attractive.
Nice, Al. Nice. nice one. Had to get that one in, eh?
I had to.
Well,
I've been felt right.
Toronto, and let's just say I'm not a big fan. Let's just say
that's fine, but like, let me tell you,
I live in the GTA, might I add. So
yeah, but like, go to Buffalo and you'll be like, okay, this is worse.
No, I'm pretty sure I've been to Buffalo. I've driven through the U.S. before, Al. I'm not you. I'm not, fresh to the United States last 3 weeks.
Yeah, fair enough. True. But yeah, I think we're done, Spencer.
I think that's it. We got playoffs predicted, baseball. We got season predicted, hockey.
Got some new intros for you too. Polar opposites. I hope. Yeah, polar opposites. I think that one's the better one, but that's just because I like keeping it simple for us, because I think what we had worked regardless. So I like the way we have it, and but I really hope that you guys enjoy the soundtracks.
Actually, Al, before we go, I have one more thing we have to talk about. One more thing.
Oh no,
quick.
Really?
Who will be the worst team in hockey this year? The worst
team in hockey?
Anaheim Ducks were the worst team in hockey, just barely on points. 58 points compared to San Jose's 60, Chicago's 59, and Columbus is 59. Who is the worst team in the NHL this year?
The Arizona Coyotes.
How many points do you think they get?
Who? 54.
I completely disagree with you. I think the Coyotes are going to be close. I think the Coyotes will have 80 points or more, and they'll be close to a playoff spot. I think it'll be the San Jose Sharks, and it will not be close. They lost their absolute best player, who had over 100 points as a defenseman. They're going to be an awfully constructed roster. I think San Jose is going to be. This is going to be like the pure tank year. They might have 54 points. Genuinely, like this San Jose Sharks might win less than 20 games this year.
That's fair.
I mean, it's a good. I think San Jose is going to be absolutely.
I just think Arizona is a joke in general. So
I know you hate Arizona. You're an Arizona hater. I'm an Arizona lover. So
hate Arizona.
So we will always go at it with Arizona. I think Arizona is a decent team.
I mean, I agree with what you said. So like, I'm gonna just say that like Arizona is right behind San Jose. Then.
You know what, Al? I can't wait for you to be wrong and be able to rub it in your face that the Coyotes at Mullet Arena are close to a playoff team.
I can't wait. Joke.
I can't wait.
They're a joke.
But now we're done. I just wanted to quickly say who you think the worst team. Yeah, whoever the worst teams are. Okay.
NHL, so
it will be the San Jose Sharks.
Okay, so according to Spencer, we are done. That means it's my turn to wrap this up. This was episode. I don't really care anymore. I was actually gonna point that out at the beginning. I don't know why we're still counting.
Because I like upsetting you, Al. That's why.
Oh, fair.
It's fun.
Okay. This is episode what, 21?
21.
21. Oh my! I knew you were gonna say that. I expect that from me, but not from you.
Oh, I had to.
Come on now. All right.
Too easy.
But this is episode 21 of The Outrage from myself, Alain and Spencer Byers. We'll talk to you next week.